2025 is over. That means it's time to look at the year that was 2025. Every year I review every single anime I watch within the calendar year, from January 1st to December 31st. And I'm going to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 using the Hanakawa Fantana scale. I'm going to follow the same rules. I must have watched the anime to completion, and if fall anime in 2025 continues into the winter 2026 season, I will not rate them because they're not completed. And the last anime I'm going to talk about is going to be my anime of the year. With that out of the way, let's get started. Tower of God Season 2. This season of Tower of God was hard to follow, since we're focusing on a whole entire new cast of characters to start with, on top of being placed somewhere in the tower, completely disconnected from characters we knew from Season 1. On top of that, the animation quality saw a dip, and it got worse over time. It's very disappointing that a very popular webtoon got an adaptation like this. Light 5. Burn the Witch Point 8. This serves as a prequel series to the original, and it does a very good job to help build our understanding about what's going on. If you're a fan of Bleach or the original Burn the Witch one-shot, I highly recommend you watch this. Light 7. Medalist. A lot of anime fans got into figure skating thanks to Yuri on Ice, which talks about the pro scene. Medalist focuses on your journey from the beginning of your figure skating journey and the skills you need to learn to elevate to be a professional figure skater. And it also touches on the idea that it's never too late to chase your dream, no matter what age you are, since the main character of Medalist started figure skating very late in terms of what is expected for a normal figure skater. It is a very good sports series, and I cannot wait to watch Season 2. Season 8. Tokyo Revengers Season 3. This season of Tokyo Revengers felt like it was the ending of the series based on all the plot points that were being touched, but in the end, this season felt like a justification for people finding out that Takamichi can time travel. And I honestly don't know where this story can go from here. Light 7. The 100 Girlfriends That Really Love You. This season of 100 Girlfriends continues on the normal hijinks and introduces new girlfriends that are typical stereotypes, but turned up to an 11. But this season shows that the series had a lot more to offer for these characters to grow. We especially saw this with Karane during this season. This is one of my favorite harem anime of recent memory. Light 8. Solo Leveling Season 2. Season 1 of Solo Leveling I thought was mid, but Season 2 I thought was fantastic. And at one point, I thought it would be my anime of the year. There was more emotion with the main character, the animation was better, the music was better. Everything was significantly better with this season. But as time went on, the flaws of Solo Leveling became more apparent, with the biggest flaw being its side cast, where they're not relevant at all. At least when it comes to, the fights, which is one of the main draws of Solo Leveling. But regardless, I still love this season. Strong 8. Blue Box. Blue Box combines two of my favorite genres of anime, sports and romance, and it perfectly balances the two. And for the romance within this series, the characters actually talked about their feelings, which is weird in a shonen romance series. This is probably one of my favorite romance series for the year. Decent 8. Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. This season of Shangri-La continues to expand the world of Shangri-La Frontier, the video game the story is based on, as well as explore different video games. And each of these video games felt just as built up as Shangri-La, which I did not think was possible. If you wanted the video game aspects of Sword Art Online to be more prevalent, this is the show for you. And I think it's probably one of the most underrated anime right now, at least of the 2020s. Light 8. ReZero Season 3. I did not like Season 2 of ReZero because I did not like the pacing of it. But Season 3, the pacing was way better. This season, we did not really have a focus on Subaru's return by death, but instead, we got to focus more on side characters and them getting a chance to shine by fighting different members of the witch's cult and winning these fights, which was a nice change of pace. And this season left on an amazing cliffhanger that I'm really excited to see where they go. This is probably my favorite season of ReZero. Strong 8. Ube Musume Pretty Derby Road to the Top. This was a 4-episode season that focused on 3 different horses that are both trying to reach the top, but for different reasons. One for her dead twin sister, one to show their passion for racing, and the other is to show respect for the people who support her. But they're all connected by their shared rivalry for each other, even though some of them will not acknowledge. It perfectly showcases the spirit of Uma Musume of friendly rivalry, which you can see throughout the series. It may not be the most in-depth story, but it's still very enjoyable. Light 7. Fire Force Season 3. I did not like this season of Fire Force, but I don't know what the main reason is. It may be due to pacing, or maybe I need to rewatch the previous seasons. Hopefully this will be fixed in the next season of Fire Force. Season 6. Windbreaker Season 2. Windbreaker continues to be one of the best anime in terms of hand-to-hand combat of the 2020s. It introduced one of my favorite side characters of the year. The story's nothing to write home about, but I'm still enjoying my time with this series. Season 7. Rascal does not dream of his sister venturing out. This Bunny Girl Senpai movie focuses on Kaede and her dealing with the fact that there's two different versions of her. The original her and the her that was created when the time she had amnesia. This movie got me emotional plenty of times just based on the subject matter, and it's probably one of my favorite Bunny Girl Senpai movies. Light 9. Rascal does not dream of a knapsack kid. This movie focuses on Sakuta and his relationship with his mother. It showcases Sakuta in a different light where he does not want to face his problems, and it's a very interesting take on his character. I did not enjoy it as much as the previous two Bunny Girl Senpai movies, but it's still very good. Decent 8. The Shionji family children. 6 children are raised together, suddenly realize that they're not related by blood, but all adopted. But they promise to each other that this will not change the relationship. But then one sibling confesses their feeling to one of their other siblings, and that kicks off a domino effect. It's a pure degen anime, yet somehow I enjoy it. Strong 6. My Hero Academia Vigilantes. This is a prequel spin-off of the main My Hero series, and this focuses on vigilantes in a smaller area of the world. There are cameos for many characters in the My Hero series, as well as hints to plots that appear in the My Hero series. And it gives off a more comic book vibe than the original My Hero. I don't think it is as good as the main My Hero. Light 8. Go Go Loser Rangers. I like season 1 of the anime, since it was playing on the idea of the Power Rangers Super Sentai. And this season continues to play on it, but then the pacing just ran all over the place for me, and I did not enjoy it as much. But I still want to continue with this series. Decent 6. Panty and Stockin' with Garterbelt. Panty and Stockin' parodies traditional Western cartoons. Sometimes jokes hit, sometimes they miss. It's a very enjoyable show if you like traditional Western adult cartoons like The Simpsons, Family Guy. Light 7. To Be Hero X. This is one of the most unique animes I've seen in a long time. It's a world where people gain superpowers based on the amount of trust value they have. The more trust value you have, the more powerful you are. But your powers are also dictated on what the public views you as. If the public sees you hold up a villain, standing tall, the public views you as some person who can stand tall, you can no longer sit. And also plays on the animation in regards to one of the characters in the show. And it tells a story about different heroes within the top 10 and how they're all interconnected. It is very difficult for me to not have this as my anime of the year. If there's a new show that aired this year that I would for anyone, it is To Be Hero X. Strong 9. Dandadan to Season 2. Season 2 continues where the first season ends, where we're not really focused on the main story in terms of fighting Okanu's balls. This season of Dandadan showcases that it's not about the destination, it is about the journey. As a manga reader of the series, the adaptation goes above and beyond what is expected for an anime adaptation, and is one of my favorite anime of the 2020s so far. Decent 9. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Season 5. This season of Danmachi goes back into the harem aspect of the series, instead of the dungeon focus the last 2 seasons. It showcases the lengths a character would go for love in a very interesting way that I like, but I still miss the dungeon aspects. Decent 7. My Dress Up Darling Season 2. This is probably one of the best animated shows for the year. There's so many small aspects of the animation that I appreciate that they did. This season focuses on following your passion. People will still like you even if you have a weird passion, regardless of what age you're at. Whether it be anime, cosplay, doll making, video games, whatever it may be. You will always find your people no matter what. And I honestly did not expect this to be one of the best anime of the year. Light 9. Dr. Stone Science Future Part 1 and 2. This is the best season of Dr. Stone so far. It pits the Kingdom of Science against USA in a race to determine who can mass replicate the revival fluid and can take control of the petrification beam. And this season had one of the saddest moments in the entire series. It is a shame that Dr. Stone is not as popular as it once was, because this was peak shonen. Light 9. Kaiju number 8. This season of Kaiju number 8 upped the ante for everything. Music better, animation was way better, and the characters were far more interesting. And the way the show is paced feels like we're slowly reaching the end, and it does not feel completely crazy. I enjoyed this season way more than season 1. Light 8. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. This season, Rascal continues the adventures of puberty syndrome in a new setting, with that being college. We're solving different puberty syndrome cases that were gifted to people by a girl dressed as Santa Claus. It continues to be Bunny Girl Senpai, and Bunny Girl Senpai is fantastic. Light 9. City the Animation. This show follows the misadventures of people in the city. The way the show is done makes the city feel alive and everyone very connected, but sometimes the comedy can be hit or miss for me. But also the series can be emotional at sometimes, particularly with 2 characters that are best friends. Light 8. Rising of the Serial Heroes Season 4. Shield Hero continues to be Shield Hero in a post-Season 2 world, which is not as good as Season 1. But this season took a step back from Season 3, which I liked, as we saw a dip in animation quality, and I lost interest in the story. Light 6. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1. My feelings of Demon Slayer are very complicated, but going into this movie, I knew I was going to like it, and my expectations were blown out of the water. The fights were 10 out of 10, music continues to be a 10 out of 10, the flaws in Demon Slayer continue to exist, particularly with Zenitsu's fight, since the fight was supposed to have this huge emotional connection, but we did not really see that build up in the anime, in comparison with the fight with Tanjiro, Akaza, and Giyu, which was one of the best fights in Demon Slayer so far. But the last half hour for this movie feels extremely long. Strong 9. A couple of Kuko's Season 2. This season introduced one new girl, and she did not really do anything. But at least this time we got more characters talking about their feelings, actually expressing their interest for one another. But it's still basic harem nonsense. And it's not even good harem nonsense now. Strong 5. Dealing with Mikadono sisters is a breeze. Another harem show. This time it focuses on 3 sisters that are prodigies, and their family taking in a boy who is the son of a prodigy, but is absolutely talentless. But the good thing about him, he has a good heart and wants to build a family that he never had. That helps bring the sisters closer together, and the sisters fall in love with the boy. Decent 7. Witch Watch. The whole entire plot of Witch Watch is that different mythical creatures has to watch a witch, but the true entertainment of this series is its comedy, and the comedy being very closely tied to anime culture, as well as the fact this series goes above and beyond what is expected. For example, they created a whole entire in-universe anime / manga series. It's to the point that we see clips of the anime within Witch Watch, and we even see an opening ending for it that replaces the opening ending for Witch Watch. I don't know what series does stuff like that. Strong 8. Chainsaw Man, Rize arc. I like season 1 of Chainsaw Man, but I felt like it leaned more into trying to be a live action show than being an anime. But Rize arc leans far more into being an anime, and I enjoyed it way more because of that aspect. The way this movie adapted the manga chapters, it felt like it was meant to be an anime movie. It has some of the best animation for a movie, and the way this movie was animated reminds me of Perfect Blue and Paprika. This is easily the best animated film of the year. Better than Infinity Castle, better than Zootopia 2, better than K-pop Demon Hunters. This is easily one of my favorite films of the year. Strong 9. Call of the Night Season 2. This season of Call of the Night focuses more on the side characters and focuses on their past. And it sets up a very interesting mystery about how Nazuna is related to different vampires as well as the vampire hunter. The animation in this season is still fantastic and the music is still fantastic, but I expect nothing less from Creepy Nuts. Light 9. The fragrant flower blooms with dignity. This story follows the typical romance plot formula for anime. The main guy is viewed as the delinquent, but he has a kind heart. From different schools that view each other as rivals, a school for delinquent boys, a school for prep school girls, but that does not matter for love. But it does stuff that normal romance anime don't do, like the characters actually talking to each other about their feelings, and even confessing their feelings before the end of episode 12 or 13. Crazy concept. It is easily the best romance anime of the year. Decent 9. Ranma Half Season 2. This continues the misadventures of Ranma, even though the original manga is over 20 years old. The show still fits within the modern era. We got new side characters that brings in more hijinks, and it just continues to be Ranma. And I like Ranma. Light 8. Rock is a Ladies' Monastery. This show follows 2 girls that has a love for rock music, but they have to keep it a secret since they're in a school for ladies. And rock music is not meant for ladies, but their love for rock cannot be contained, as that is hiding a part in themselves. It's a show about following your passion. I have a bias for music anime, and I enjoy this series a lot. Light 9. Santa. In a world without Santa Claus, a girl only has one wish: to find her missing best friend. And she finds the descendant of Santa Claus to grant her this wish. The show is way more deeper than you would think. It explores the idea of childhood innocence, the fear of growing up, dealing with puberty, and the idea of preserving youth. I honestly think this is an underrated anime for the year, and I enjoyed my time with it. Light 8. Umamusume Cinderella Grey. This series follows the journey of Ogurika to being one of the greatest Japanese racehorses of all time. But this series leans more into traditional shonen sports anime series, but never loses the heart of what Umamusume is about, and that is having healthy competition with each other. And the fact that one loss is not the end of the world, and is what you learn from that loss can be applied to the next race. I don't know what to say besides this is peak sports anime. Strong 9. Spy Family Season 3. This season of Spy Family, we learn so much more about Lloyd as a character, the Desmond family and the nature of it, and continue to build a relationship between the whole entire cast. And we get to see more interesting plots being explored, especially the war between the two nations. This is probably my favorite season of Spy Family so far. Decent 9. Gacha Yakuta. When I first started watching this, I could not get into the series. But once we got with the episode with Remulin inheriting the violin instrument, the show clicked for me. From that point on, the show's vibe clicked with me, and the story got more intense. I cared about more of the side characters, and I got more interested about what this world has to offer. And the show having a fantastic dub does not hurt as well. Decent 8. The Apothecary Diaries Season 2. Season 1 of The Apothecary Diaries was up and down for me, but Season 2 fixed a lot of problems I had. It continues to establish itself as a weekly mystery show, but then we slowly find out what's the overarching mystery of this season, and that is what is going on with Shisui, a side character that got introduced this season, and easily one of the best side characters in anime this year. From majority of the year, I cannot help but think that Apothecary Diaries is my anime of the year, but now I cannot say that. But regardless, it is very much deserving of this score. 10. My Hero Academia Final Season. I have a very much a complicated relationship with My Hero. I think it has some of the best peaks in shonen of all time, but it also has some of the worst lows in modern shonen. There was a point in time where I even dropped the series due to what happened with Stars and Stripes, as well as the community's reaction to who the traitor was. But I promised myself that I would catch up to My Hero when we're closer to the end in the manga. We were closer to the end of the series in the manga. I caught up. I think it's one of the best endings in modern shonen. This year I caught up with the anime. I normally don't cry watching anime. This final season of My Hero made me cry multiple times. Even though I knew what's going to happen, even though I do not like the characters this stuff was happening to, this anime adaptation broke me. The animation for this season was fantastic, but that's to be expected when My Hero does not have to worry about another movie in the background. Picking anime of the year was very hard. But for me, what determines anime of the year is a show that will stick with you even after this year ends. For me, in 2021, it was Vivi Floret Ice Song. 2022 was Kaguya-sama Ultra Romantic. 2023, it was Oshinoko. In 2024, it was Free Run Beyond Journey End. And in 2025, it was My Hero Academia Final Season. 10. That is every single anime I watched in 2025. If you're curious about what are my top 10 favorite anime of the year, they're somewhere here on the screen. Anyways, share your favorite anime of 2025 down in the comments down below. Anyways, I have been D-Man. You can find me anywhere at D_man416x, and I'll see you when I see you. We about to rob hell.